Hi, it's Suze from Balanced Birth Hypnobirthing. Please forgive the rather au naturel appearance that I'm sporting. A toddler on sleep strike, 2 jobs, just jumped out the shower. I promise to wear makeup next time. Tonight I wanted to talk about my hypnobirthing heroes, because there are a few people that have really influenced me, not only to use hypnobirthing with my own baby, but also in my studies and practice, and ultimately journey to become a practitioner, and always further learning. So my first hypnobirthing hero is my sister Vic. It wasn't until after that she'd had my nephew, which I was really fortunate enough to be there to see and support her, that I realised she actually intuitively and instinctively used hypnobirthing. She was able to stay at home for really rather a long time. She was supported by her husband Paul and birthing partner, and they used breathing, they used guided imagery, and she was able to listen to her body, go with her body, and birth my nephew really rather naturally, calmly and quickly. And she's a total Amazon, and I remember being completely high on her oxytocin for weeks afterwards. So she's my first hypnobirthing hero. The second one has to be Jenny Mullen. So she is the lady that I have trained with, the Jenny Mullen method of hypnobirthing. She's the UK's most experienced hypnobirthing practitioner and trainer of hypnobirthing practitioners, as well as other things. So I kind of love her just a little bit. The third one is a shout out really to another practitioner, Debbie Willis of Better Birth and Baby. So I met Debbie only very briefly at a NCT pregnancy fair, and I bought one of the CDs that she was selling and sort of chatted to her a little bit, and now I see her professionally, obviously. We are in the same circles, and she also facilitates the Positive Birth Movement group in Bury St Edmunds, and she's got a Facebook page for that. But she's really wonderful, really lovely lady and a great practitioner, so shout out to her. Last little bit I want to talk about is just books that I have come across and read and found really interesting that have furthered my knowledge of hypnobirthing. When you choose to do a course, either one-to-one or a group, you don't need to do all this extra reading, but if you get a little bit obsessed and really enjoy reading about birth and hypnobirthing, then they're great. So the first one is from a series of Why Something Matters. So this one is Why Hypnobirthing Matters, by Katrina Berry. It's a really succinct, as you can see, it's quite small, little book, but it is packed full of information from lots of many sources about hypnobirthing, and I thought it was a really great little read. I got this from Pinter and Martin Publishers, and they do the whole series, so they're really nice little books to have. This is a bit of a Bible. Childbirth Without Fear by Grantley Dick Reed, Dr. Grantley Dick Reed. So he was a physician, can't say that word, physician, practicing in London, who kind of witnessed the phenomenon of hypnobirthing and the differences between people who weren't really educated and people that were, in terms of how they labour, and we refer to it quite a bit on our course. I mentioned it in my last video about the history of fear. So this is a really lovely one to read. There's a wonderful foreword by Ina Gaskin as well. Speaking of, so Ina May Gaskin is a very experienced American midwife who's attended hundreds of thousands of births, I imagine, and she's got this book, this one, Guide to Childbirth. It's about natural childbirth. There are lots of lovely birth stories in there, and I think this is just a really nice one to read if you want to hear some really nice stories about birth and undo some of those negative things that we hear so often. So this is a really lovely one. Doing it for the boys. Mark Harris, total ledge. He is, again, a very experienced midwife, unusually. Yes, he's a male and he's a midwife. And dad and granddad to many children. And he's written this really fabulous book, and he delivers workshops, obviously aimed at men, but I found it a really fascinating read. He's an honest-to-goodness bloke who talks to blokes about bloke stuff, supporting their partners through pregnancy and labour, and even before then. So really great little anecdotes, little activities to do, and just a really great book. So love Mark. My latest one is the study of oxytocin. So this is the Oxytocin Factor by Dr. Kirsten Moberg. So I'm going to talk next week about the cocktail of hormones that we produce during labour and why they're important. And oxytocin is the one that's probably most referred to. It's referred to as the love hormone. And oxytocin really changes a woman, as well as being one of those important hormones for labour. So I found this really interesting, and also the book refers to Michel Odon's book, The Scientification of Love. Michel Odon is a fabulous French obstetrician. Again, we refer to him quite a lot on the course, so I haven't even got time to mention any of his works, but yeah, I just thought it might be interesting for people to see what other reading is available. There's loads and loads out there, and if you're really interested in hypnobirthing, then you might like to do a little bit of extra reading. So that's me. If you're interested in doing a hypnobirthing course or want to find out a little bit more, please drop me a line, hello@balancedbirth.co.uk, or message me on Facebook. I'd be really happy to chat with anyone. Really happy to link up with other practitioners as well, in terms of any couples that we might want to work with together or areas that aren't covered. So please, yeah, stop by my Facebook page, have a look on my website, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye.